So I really didn't want to have to release this message on Earth Day because I do want people to buy electric vehicles. I just don't want them to buy Teslas. The great Senator Mark Kelly, who should have been Kamala Harris's VP, got rid of his Tesla, which was great, but then he's like, I'm buying a Chevy Tahoe instead. So I don't think gas guzzlers are the answer. There's lots of other great electric cars like the Hyundai Ioniq, the Ford Mach-E, Toyota BZ4X, Chevy Bolt, even the Nissan Leaf. So there's lots of other models that people can choose from that are pretty comparable to gas guzzling SUVs. And it's just that I don't want you to buy a Tesla specifically, and I definitely don't want you to buy Tesla stock because I'm seeing a lot of Gen Z being like, oh, Tesla's so cheap, let's buy the dip. And I don't think that would be a very wise decision. And I'm not a Tesla bear. I own Tesla shares for a long time. And a lot of people would be like, the car company's overvalued. And it was, but I looked at it more as a tech company. And really the whole point was it was the only public access point to the Musk ecosystem. Retail traders could only buy Tesla publicly. They couldn't buy Starlink or SpaceX or the Boring Company or Neuralink. It was the only access point into the entire Elon Musk ecosystem. But what if that is centered around a guy that falls apart? What if he himself destroys his brand? And I think it's more and more apparent he's gone from the eccentric billionaire genius who can smoke pot and talk about going 420s, his company's private, and he's impregnating all these women, and well, that's just the price of genius. That's just a Howard Hughes type person, an eccentric type person. I think it's now more apparent that he really has never done anything without a huge amount of government help. He was not a billionaire until the Obama administration's EV subsidies and the carbon credits and things like that. So he's had to use government help to become a billionaire in the first place. Then you get all the incentives that help EVs grow and prosper. Then you get the government contracts that have propped up Starlink and SpaceX. And he really has never had a truly massively successful company that didn't rely heavily on government help. And he's had a lot of flops in the meantime. And you would think a really, truly smart guy would know you don't hook up with Trump. Every single person that has ever hooked up with Donald Trump has wound up worse off, from his wives to his employees to his personal attorneys to the millions of people he's ripped off over the years, from charity fraud to university fraud to running a multi-level marketing scheme to the thousands of lawsuits where people have accused him of stiffing them, to Mike Pence, who he tried to get killed for following the Constitution, all the ex-cabinet officials he's fired and moved on from. It's like King Midas in reverse. He usually winds up okay, Trump himself, but the people around him really suffer. And you would think Musk would be smart enough to see this isn't somebody you should connect to, as he's fucked over everybody who's ever gotten close to him. So now it almost doesn't matter what the Tesla board does. Some people are like, well, if the Tesla board will get smart and they'll push Musk out, that will save the company, because Musk is so toxic for the brand. You've got Germany car sales collapsing. You've got people in Canada being like, I wouldn't drive a Tesla if you gave it to me for free. American car sales, Tesla's falling. The primary people that would buy a Tesla, liberals, do not want a Tesla. They won't want to go anywhere near it. And that's not going to change. People think, oh, he'll step down from Doge and then he'll tone it down a bit and that'll all change. It's not going to, because of all the laid off government workers. You've got tens of thousands of federal government employees that have been fired by him personally. And then their family, their friends, when he goes on Sean Hannity and cries, I've never done anything wrong. People are targeting me. I've never hurt anyone. Well, the tens of thousands of government employees that lost their jobs, they would disagree with you there, Elon. So would the Twitter employees that you fired. And so because he's making a lot of bad will with millions of people, not just his own personal politics, but what he specifically has done, they're not going to buy Tesla ever because it's associated with him. But if they fire him and they pivot away from him and they move on with the brand, then it starts to raise questions about this car company was always overvalued because it was the access point for the Musk ecosystem, and he's not worth it anymore. He's not worth the shit. He's not connected with the company anymore. He's not running it. So the entire house of cards begins to crumble, where it's like there's a lot of EV competition, both overseas with Chinese companies, but also within America, companies that don't have the same level of baggage. Tesla's not worth multiples more than Toyota is worth. They're not even a tech company like Apple or Microsoft, so there's nothing to really justify this valuation. I really don't see it going up from here, and I don't think you should buy the dip.